Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, Allah did not send any prophet, but he shepherded sheep. His companions asked him, Did you do the same? The Prophet, peace be upon him, replied, Yes. I used to shepherd the sheep of the people of Mecca for some qira'at. Now, what I like about this particular hadith is that it reminds us of the humble beginnings of many prophets. Because to work with animals requires patience, humility, and kindness. When you have figures such as Andrew Tate pushing vapid and vain materialism, people can feel like they just don't measure up. And you have a lot of Christians as well who think that if your nation isn't just filled with skyscrapers and you're not this type of busting economy, that, God didn't really bless your nation. And if you have a simple country and you have a lot of animal husbandry, that you're less than. For us, as Muslims, being a shepherd isn't something that a loser does. If it's good enough for a prophet, then it's good enough for you. And when you think about how many Christians in the past, they were cattle ranchers. And you had the cowboy imagery for quite a long time in America. What made the natives, the indigenous peoples, different than the Christians was their livestock behavior. As in, you had Christians staying still and having farms and raising livestock, whereas the tribes were more mobile. They moved, and some moved as the buffalo went, but they were on horseback hunting far more than having a sedentary area, a fixed plot and lot for some time. Later on, they changed, right? But that was one very intense differentiation between the two cultures. And so today, I think it's really important to remember that if you just want to have a simple life, homestead, something like that, then that's fine. You don't have to feel like a loser simply because you don't have a mansion or a penthouse or something like that. You're not partying on yachts and all that. When you look how short life is, you can understand that you only get so much time and you never know when you're going to go. Lindsey Graham, huge warmonger, hated the Palestinians, has so much cash, boom, gone. Just like that, no warning. And died before Mitch McConnell. Intense. And so, what else comes from raising animals is you observe their behavior and you'll be judged also for how you take care of them. Imagine if every person who owned an animals, thought to themselves, am I taking care of these animals as well as a prophet would? Because the prophets, peace be upon them all, feared Allah. So they're not going to just outright abuse those animals. That's not a thing. Look at the factory farms in Christian America, especially how they treat the pigs. It's bleak, quite bleak. It's not a good thing. How monkeys and beagles are treated in the animal testing labs, and the mice as well. It gets really dark. That's why there's a rise in products that say cruelty-free, because people, they don't want to participate in that system. And in Christian America, such practices are allowed and rarely spoken about by any Christian female influencer. And so, when you're thinking about how schools, they're going to tell your kids, go do this job and go do that job, but they don't really talk about be a farmer. There's not a whole lot of respect for farmers. And a lot of the Christian Latinos, especially Christian Mexicans, they work in agriculture and in livestock. And now they're even going towards the seafood industry. You know, going out to get the lobsters and whatnot. And they don't shy away from working around animals. And so, for me, when you think of fancy tailored suits and all that vanity and ostentatious luxury and the haughtiness that comes with it, pause and reflect and remember this hadith that was narrated by Abu Hurairah about how animal husbandry was common amongst the prophets. So when people are traveling around the world, they're looking down, oh, I'm from America, oh, I work in a corporate office, oh, I work in the financial district, oh. You have to be thankful to the people who take the time to raise these animals and raise them with care and make them healthy so that we can consume them. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't denigrate the shepherd, why should you? It's a dirty job. It's a hard job. There's a show called Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. They should make something like that now with, you know, more global though, where you go around the world and you see the difficult jobs that people do. Because working hard doesn't always equal money. And people who are able to do these tough jobs with animals and do it right and not cut corners, they're very commendable. So if you're not feeling like you added up, this doesn't mean don't have ambition. No, that's not what I'm saying. It just means that life can be simpler than you realize. And if you're driving yourself mad, trying to always keep up with the Joneses, maybe you'd do better just being a farmer, homesteading, even if you have a little chicken coop, something to think about. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join the blog.